All right, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, call hello, Yahawah BaHaSham Yahawashi, BaHaSham Kakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to you brothers pushing this word, truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, fair use, fair use. This is a video I wanted to do. We spoke about it last week or the week before. We briefly touched on it. Um, this is from Indisputed with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. Okay, like I said, fair use. This is for edification purposes. As you can see on the screen, it says major tech companies propose inserting MICROCHIPS into prisoners. Now, this was spoken of. There was a TikTok or Instagram clip that went around speaking about this. All right, but I'm gonna play the video. You know, and I got it. It's one something that I wanted to go into. I'm not gonna make this video too long, but let me just play this video.
Propose putting microchips inside of prisoners. Here it is.
So a digital rights group called Foxglove has just obtained meeting minutes from a UK government roundtable where Google, Microsoft, Amazon, IBM, and Palantir were all proposing, surgically implanting chips, like microchips, inside prisoners.
So she just mentioned a number of different groups, different corporations, all right, that are involved in this. Okay, and it got me thinking. And I'm gonna show it to you later. In regards to what this is, different companies coming together, all right, with government officials, all right. Keep that in mind.
Inside prisoners in order to track their behavior and their location in real time. And here's the thing about all of that. You see, that meeting took place a little over a year ago, and those proposals have been sitting under consideration for that entire year, and nobody knew about it until a few days ago when those minutes were made public. And according to Ministry of Justice sources, none of those proposals have been ruled out. They're all still on the table. Now, if you've been following me for a while, then you already know why my face looks like this. Because last year, I published a 7-part investigation called Who TF is in My Head, and it was about Elon Musk and his company Neuralink, and about the potential for experimentation on incarcerated people, potentially, allegedly, when it comes to testing this technology, allegedly.
Do I have to say it out loud? Number one, this is a pretext to create the context to knock on your door. Okay? This isn't just for prisoners. Look at the companies who are involved. These companies are end consumer companies, meaning the consumer is the one buying the end product. These are not companies that typically deal with just prisoners as their end consumer. You're talking about companies whose end consumer is you and I. Number one. Two, prisoners still have rights. Those who are incarcerated, 99% of them come home eventually. So prisoners still have rights. And do they have a right to say no to this proposal? And lastly, if this happens, which we are hoping it doesn't, it's a ridiculous idea and erodes more of your sanctity and rights as a human being. If this happens, well, that means that wherever they go, once they are released, individuals who are formerly incarcerated, do they keep the chip? So that means everywhere they go, the chip is still activated, even in your home and restaurants, et cetera, et cetera. It's a never-ending story. We will continue to bring you updates on this insanity. It is unfortunate that we even have to address it. And once again, who's the guinea pig? Well, those they feel as if are the least of these. If you're a person of faith, you already know that's not how it works. Indisputable is still the fastest growing news show.
All right, yeah. So that was a little, quick expose on the microchip, right? All right, so let's just go hit the scriptures real quick. This is dealing with prison two scriptures just came to mind. All right. The majority of prisoners in America are so-called or Israelites, Latinos, Native Americans, and so-called Negroes, right? First scripture I'll read since it's right here. This is Psalm 64:2. It says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity." All right, there's secret councils, all right, going on, all right, and within those councils, all right, there's conspiracies, all right, there's conspiracies, there's talks, all right, of pushing forth an agenda that's going to microchip the people, all right, it's between corporations and governments, all right, and like you said, they hide the information, all right, because it's going to come a time where everything is going to be disclosed, all right, everything is going to be disclosed. There has to be full disclosure. Everything has to be brought forth, all right, to the masses. Okay. Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. Okay, that's your prisoners. All right, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay, that mark, charagma, right? It's an implantable device. See, you can no longer deny this, man. All right, even mainstream media is telling you about it, and pretty soon, I said mainstream media is telling you about it. This is a form of alternative media, undisputed, with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. You see, he has a growing channel, 1.4 million subscribers. Okay, and he's talking about, all right, what's coming. Now, I wanted to go into this real quick. This is Mussolini's definition, and Benito Mussolini was during the time of World War II in the 30s, in the 40s. All right, and I'm going to read this, The Doctrine of Fascism, which was written in 1932 by Benito Mussolini. I'm going to look into it as well. I'm going to look into it, but one of the things he said about fascism, all right, he said Benito Mussolini defined fascism as an authoritarian, anti-individualistic political ideology that subordinates all personal and group interests to the absolute power of the state. And this is what this devil is doing. He's consolidating power, all right, through the state. But he's using corporations. See, it says he famously summarized it as the merger of state and corporate power. All right, that's why we always say, and we seen it down on 14th and K Street. Okay, you have Monsanto, you have the lobby. I say Monsanto. Monsanto, we talk about Monsanto dealing with genetically modified organisms, but they had down at 14th and K, they had their their lobbying office. All right, what they do is they lobby these politicians to pass these bills that are favorable to corporations and favorable to them creating the atmosphere where the consumer has to rely upon their products, their services. All right, and we always used to say it, and it's always known that politicians go from the private sector, all right, the private sector, which is, these different corporations, these different industries that they work for, into the public sector, which is politicians. So they go back and forth. A lot of them are attorneys. All right, they deal with policy. Okay, and they set up the policies. All right, that's what the scriptures say. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees. But they set up the policies to benefit the corporations. Which these corporations, when you go to the top, the board of directors, the top, a lot of them controlled by the Rothschilds and the elites. They're subsidiary companies. They're controlled by these elite international bankers. All right. So basically, through these corporations, and these are multinational corporations, they suck, all right, the wealth out of the people. Okay. Policy is created. You got economic hitmen. Okay. What they'll do is they'll give a country a loan. The country can't pay that loan back at the interest rates. right? They go into what is it called? Insolvency. They don't have any liquid cash, so they got to sell their assets, right? Then those people that were accustomed to, living a certain type of way, they can't live on their land because their country is indebted to these multinational corporations. So now you're dealing with oil spills and different diseases that are caused by the corporations coming in and exploiting the land and the resources and the people, and they make life miserable. That's why America is turning miserable, because the same thing that they do overseas is coming here. All right, and then going back to the merger of state and corporate power. All right, it's set up to get rid of. It's like it says, anti-individualistic political ideology. All right, private property, human rights, all of this gets thrown away, okay? As Mussolini talked about fascism. So going back to this video, major tech companies, this is just like he said, these companies, all right, are consumer, based, all right? They need people to consume. So the prisoners, all right, is one segment of the population that you can, start by targeting this technology, all right, on the prisoners. Okay, free and bond, rich and poor. All right, you're gonna have segments of the population that are gonna be enticed by this MOTB. Okay, people that are on low income, people that need housing. All right, people that are on Social Security, because Social Security within a few years is set to go kaput. All right, so you need something to transfer from this system, which is going out, to what they have that they want to bring in, and that's that, like it says right here, which we call it the MOTB. All right, I just read Revelation 13 and 16. Okay, so I'm gonna end the video here. Call hello, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. This is a quick one. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Look, we're in that time. All right, we're in that time. This thing is being done in stages. All right, and as we get closer and closer, the elites are gonna have to move quicker. They are gonna move quicker. All right. So until the next video, shalom.